For the past 7 years or so, the New York Giants Super Bowl has been the draft. We usually pick high, we usually hit the pick, or we miss on it. Evan Neal. But today I'm here to tell you that the Giants are closer to a Super Bowl than people want to give them credit for. And I'm also here to tell you why the New York Giants have had the best draft in the 2025 NFL Draft. Starting at the top, third overall pick, the Giants selected Abdul Carter out of Penn State. And this kid is insane, bro. I don't know if you guys haven't watched much college football. Throw on any game from the playoffs that he was playing in, but in particular, the Notre Dame game, he was tearing apart a good-ass Notre Dame team with literally one arm. Like, he was injured during that game, too. And he was absolutely cooking. He was the best player on the field, basically every play. Every, Notre Dame offensive snap, the second they snapped the ball, this man was running through them, just doing whatever he wanted, dominating the pass game, the run game. He completely took over. And he's pretty obviously a top 2 overall player in this draft, him or Travis Hunter, but he plays a premium position, so that's way more important. Everyone wants a dominant edge rusher, and just putting him alongside Sexy Dexy, BB, Brian Burns, Spider-Man, Kayvon Thibodeau, which, he's a little mid, I'm going to be honest. We drafted him mad high. He's a little mid. But either way, this is a dominant pass rush. I don't see how any team blocks them, to be honest. Outside of the Lions, who have the best O-line in football. I mean, if you want to stack them up in the NFC East, they got to chase after Jaden Daniels, Jalen Hurts. Dak's had a million injuries, so he can't really run no more. But this is the perfect D line to have against those kinds of quarterbacks, and especially Abdul Carter, because he can move, bro. He's fast. He has an insane first step, insane bend. He just gets around tackles all day. And I'm telling you, Giants fans right now, when they play the Eagles, it's going to look completely different now with this line, with this D-line. We can actually compete. We can actually fuck with them a little bit. We can actually rock Saquon a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Make him regret ever leaving. But I will say the only downside, I guess, for Abdul Carter, because he was dominant basically everywhere. Anywhere he played. Off-ball linebacker, middle linebacker, edge, strictly. He was dominant literally wherever he wanted to go. The only downside is for an edge, he's a little undersized. 6'3", 250. People say he's undersized, but that is the Micah Parsons build. So I honestly think it's not that big of a deal. You definitely have to at least talk about that there's some injury concerns here, for sure. Just because he did get, he was hurt in the playoffs, and then at the combine they found a stress fracture in his foot. So you don't want to hear that kind of stuff. I'm not gonna lie, you don't want to hear that kind of stuff before you even come into the league. But it's worth the risk. It's definitely worth the risk. And from everything we've seen, the foot stress fracture is not even a real thing. So it's perfect. I will say it's a little interesting because they did want to trade this pick to go up to get Cam Ward. And if I'm the Titans, I would snap accept that. The rumored offer was this third overall pick and another first and then multiple other picks. And if I can move back, if I'm the Titans, get Cam Ward and other picks, that's a home run. I can't believe they didn't accept that. Cam Ward ain't even like that. Abdul Carter is like that. And, we see it in the mentality. He clearly wants to be like Lawrence Taylor, which is, the highest. As a Giants fan, that is literally the best thing you could fucking hear. Is that he wants to be like Lawrence Taylor. He wants to be. Listen, I know y'all watching was too fucking young to watch Lawrence Taylor, because I was. None of us was watching football in the fucking 80s. This is our Lawrence Taylor. We finally get to see it. We had Michael Strahan, but we were also probably too young for that. I'm going to be honest. But exciting pick. Very exciting pick. Tennessee fucked up by not doing that trade. And the Giants had a home run here to start the draft, though, for sure. Now, this is the controversial one, man. This one was fun. I don't know about y'all, but when I was watching the draft, There were a lot of reports and rumors that the Giants were going to trade back up into the first to draft a quarterback, but like everything you hear around draft time, a lot of it is smoke, a lot of it isn't real. And we also saw reports that this was Brian Daboll's guy, that this is the guy you wanted. So again, like seeing that going into the draft, you're like, I don't know if this is real. I don't know if it's not. Like, I don't know what we're doing, but like it was definitely real. It was definitely real. And that's surprising. That means the Giants do got a leak in their shit, but you got to find him, maybe hang him for treason or whatever. But listen, Jackson Dart is very interesting. He's very interesting because this is a lot of potential. Like this is you're looking forward a little bit because if you watch what he did in college at Ole Miss and USC, he played well. I'm not saying he played bad at all, but like if you just put him what he did on the field versus like, listen, I'm gonna keep saying it, Shedeur, who fell to the depths of hell. Shedeur just looked better as a player. Like he had better stats. He just looked better. But if you're looking at the potential, it definitely looks more in Jackson Dart's favor. He has a better build. He's taller. He weighs a little more. He has the Jalen Hurts build, which is cool, and he even runs like Jalen Hurts, which is also cool. But like as a thrower, it does look a lot more like Bo Nix. And the reason why I personally love this move is, one, he's a potential franchise quarterback. He's the youngest quarterback in the draft too. Sorry, not even just in the draft. He's the youngest quarterback in the NFL now. So there's definitely a developmental process to that. But to get your franchise quarterback, the trade was pretty nice. I mean, they only gave up essentially 2 third-round picks because the second-round pick was just a pick swap. So giving up 2 third-round picks for a potential franchise quarterback, especially considering the pick after was the Rams, who traded, and they traded a first. They had to give up a first-round pick, which is, way better than what we gave up. So, and that trade actually is very interesting to me because that's the reason why I kind of like this pick a lot. Because, listen, I'm not going to sit here and cap to you guys. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I had Jackson Dart above Shedeur or above Cam Ward. I just didn't. And I'm going to be real honest with y'all. I had Milroe above him too. I like what Milroe does a lot. I mean, I had Dart as QB 4. He's way above the rest of these clowns. Like the short ass Dylan Gabriel and Tyler Shuck, who's like a grandpa at this point. And in injuries and age. But the reason why I find this pick so good is solely because although I didn't have him rated very highly and any mock draft didn't have him rated super highly, I do think that there's something here because Brian Daboll is a quarterback guy. That's a quarterback guru. He literally molded Josh Allen, who was just a raw talent, like just literally kind of like him, just like a raw prospect in college. But you didn't really see it. You could just see the potential because of the build and everything. And then he came in, Josh Allen, Daboll got his hands all over Josh Allen, and he turned him into a fucking superstar, one of the best quarterbacks, the MVP. Superstar girlfriend. She's getting fucked by Michael B. in Sinners. Oh, that's a spoiler. I'm sorry for people that haven't seen Sinners. Why haven't you? It's amazing. Anyways, besides the point, that's a different video. I think the fact that Brian Daboll really likes him is interesting, but even more than that, right after the pick was announced that we drafted Jackson Dart, the pick right after that was the Rams. And the second we announced we drafted him, they traded out. They did this trade with the Falcons. And that's interesting. That's very interesting because that screams to me that Sean McVay, who is also an offensive guru, and if we're being honest, one of the best head coaches in the NFL. Brian Daboll will hopefully get there at some point, but like Sean McVay's been that guy. He's been that guy for a while now, right? He won a Super Bowl not that long ago. He clearly fucking likes this kid. He clearly thinks this kid is a good-ass quarterback because he was going to take him in the first round while they just re-signed Matt Stafford. So he was going to pick him, be like, yo, sit your ass behind Stafford for 2 years, and then you're the face of the franchise. You're the Rams. And I think the fact that these two offensive geniuses in Daboll and Sean McVay like him so much, there's clearly something that we're not seeing. There's clearly something that isn't translating to, I guess, the casual, more normal audience, but these guys are seeing it. So that got me excited, you know? And let's be honest, the Ole Miss connection is tough because he's really close with Eli. From what we've seen, he's really close with Eli. That's his boy. And listen, this is the successor. This is literally the successor. We had the Ole Miss Eli Manning, and now we're getting the Ole Miss Jackson Dart. They both look a little goofy, you know? They're both not the prototypical best quarterback, you know? Like the build and everything. And listen, character-wise, he checks all my boxes because he apparently is a big Star Wars fan. So he checks all my boxes that I personally want in personality. Also, so did Abdul Carter, for being honest. So we got some dogs. But if you guys are excited and wanted to go see a game of Jackson Dart, just to be like, all right, what's he cooking? Like, what am I to expect? There really ain't nothing better than this right here. Because in 2023, he went up against the LSU Tigers with, yes, Heisman winning Jaden Daniels. And they also had Brian Thomas and Malik Neighbors. And Jackson Dart and friends ended up beating them 55-49. And if you guys have not seen this game, if you're a Giants fan and you're like on the edge, you're like, oh, I don't want to know if y'all are on the edge. But like if you're excited about Jackson Dart but not sure, like, oh, what are we getting? Watch this game and you're going to be so on board. I mean, this man threw for almost 400 yards, 4 TDs. He got tush pushed in for another one, which... shit, I mean, that's the game now, so that's what you want to see, too. Trey Harris went off for him, which I do wish we got Trey Harris in the second round. He went to the Chargers. Good pick for them. But still, I mean, you can see, like, look at the talent difference, bruh. Look at the talent difference on offense. And clearly none of these defenses were playing. I mean, look at the fucking score. So it was just back and forth offensive masterclasses. And Jackson Dart outdueled Jaden fucking Daniels. You know, like, that's insane. And there's also a play in particular that it was beautiful to watch where he took off for a scramble and he hurdled the motherfucker. He hurdled him. Got high up, too. And he's just an exciting player. Like, if you guys haven't watched the John Gruden QB camp with him and you're a Giants fan, go watch it and I guarantee you're going to fall in love with him. Like, he's a fun player. He's a good personality. Will he for sure be our franchise-saving quarterback? I'm going to be honest. We don't know. This is so much of a potential pick. But, hey, we also drafted him at the perfect time because the Rams were taking him at the next pick. So we didn't give up too much. He has potential. We got Russell Wilson and Jameis, so he don't have to play year one at all. We can just literally sit him the entire first year, let him develop, let him learn behind those cats, and see what happens. But overall, I cannot be excited about this pick. This was a good ass pick. Joe Shane was cooking up. At the top of the third, we came back around and we were like, yo, listen, our D-line is cool. Like, it's pretty nice. But guess what? Let's add another one. Let's just stack the fuck out of it. And I love that. I love this mentality, this mindset. And listen, Darius Alexander is a good player too. I'm not coming through saying this is like some superstar we're getting in the third round, but he is a good, solid player. He's big. He's strong. He's good in the run game. And to be honest, a lot of people were saying he fell. He fell a lot. And that's just great value because people were calling him a second rounder for sure. And my main takeaway with him is, listen, when you get a little deeper in the draft, the deeper you get, I should say, in the draft, you're definitely trying to go for potential. What you see is not 100% what you're going to get, but what you think you're going to get, right? And this man is a great athlete for the position. Like, he be moving. He be flying. And if you want to get excited, about Darius Alexander, The only thing I need to show you right here, or the only thing you need to go watch for yourself, is the Pitt game. Which, by the way, this game went to 6 overtimes. Holy shit, crazy game. But the thing that I want y'all to see is, listen, he played well. He had a tackle for a loss, a sack, right? Cool, all right, cool. That's fine. But this man had a motherfucking 58-yard thick 6, bro. He was running. I'll show it to y'all, but I can't. Look it up for yourself. But he was running. And listen, a lot of people at his size cannot do that. They just can't do it. Was he 300? He's a 300-pounder fucking running 60-yard pick 6. Like, that's insane. And if you look at his combine results, like, they were pretty good. Like, he's very athletic. And it's just an exciting prospect overall. I mean, again, listen, people had him going as a round 2 prospect. We got him in the 3rd. I really don't see the problem. He's a great run. He's great in the run game. And listen, let's just stack up this D-line, bro. Let's just keep it running, keep it pushing. And I think this is the perfect identity pick for the New York Giants. Nah, this is a motherfucking pick, bro. This is such a fun player, man. I'm telling you. Cam Skattebo, if you guys have not watched him play, just go look up the highlights and it jumps off the page how fun he is. He is like a pinball. He just runs into defenders and just bounces off them. He literally can't get tackled. From what we've seen, he just can't get tackled. And in a very deep running back class, filled with studs and superstars, there were going to be people that fall. There were going to be really good players that fell in the draft. And I think the Giants had a home run selection here at pick 3, round 4, with Cam Skattebo. And also, having a white running back, that's kind of fire. That's kind of drippy. I mean, come on. You don't see that every day, especially a go one. The dog shit ones for sure, but the go ones, nah. And listen, if you're a Giants fan and you want to get excited about Cam Skattebo, all you got to do is look up their playoff game against Texas. Arizona State versus Texas. Because this man did everything. And in case you don't know much about college football, like the standings up top are skewed. It says number 4 Arizona State, number 5 Texas. Texas were the very heavy favorites. It wasn't even supposed to be close, to be honest. Cam Skattebo literally kept his team in this game. And one thing with me is I love big game players. Like, if you're coming out of college to the NFL, unless you play on like one of these dog shit franchises, like every week it's a big game essentially. You know, Giants, you're playing the Eagles on prime time. You're playing the Cowboys on Thanksgiving. Like you're playing prime time games, and we need big time players that come up and shine in that moment. And for Arizona State playoffs against Texas, this is the big time moment. Like, I wouldn't be like, this was probably by far the most viewed game of the season. Like, everything, like, this was the most important game of the season. And this motherfucker comes out and has 143 fucking rushing yards with 2 rushing TDs, right? He's the leading receiver with 8 catches for 99 yards. And he fucking threw a touchdown. He threw a 42-yard touchdown. What else do you want to see? He played against one of the best teams in the country in the biggest game, and he showed out on all levels. He did literally everything. He's a great receiving back. He can come out in the Wildcat. He gives your offense so much flexibility. And pairing him with Tyrone Tracy is literally a Timu version of what they got in Detroit with Gibbs and Monty. Like, Cam Skattebo is that, like, power back that Monty be, except he's a better catcher, if I'm being honest. He's a way better receiver, but he's that power back that David Montgomery acts as. And then Tyrone Tracy is that elusive version that is Gibbs, that little Sonic and Knuckles action. Although, let's be honest, I mean, Gibbs is far better than fucking Tyrone Tracy. I'm not trying to cap here, but it is definitely a team move version, and it's honestly so much fun. Like, this is a fun player to have. Like, He's going to be stiff-arming dudes, running through tackles. He's going to play like his life depends on it every play. And that is, again, just a lot of fun. This is what I describe this draft class as. Like, it's going to be a joy to watch football this year with the New York Giants, which I could not say at all for the last 7 years during this fucking Daniel Jones era. It's been the most boring bullshit football team for the last 7 years, and it's basically my 1 p.m. Sunday nap now, if I'm being honest. Or I'm just looking at Red Zone the entire time. I'm not even looking at this shit. But listen, a little rant, but great pick. I love it. And now the last pick I'm going to talk about, because I'm going to be honest, we had 2 more picks in the 7th round, but I don't know who those cats are, and neither do you. And those guys are probably just going to be special teamers. Best case scenario starters, decent starters, best case scenario. But listen, Marcus Mbao out of Purdue. Listen, the Giants O-line is not as bad as people say it is, but it's definitely not good. It's more it should trend towards the middle of the pack. Obviously, we have Andrew Thomas, superstar, but outside of that, there really isn't much else. And Marcus Mbao is kind of the perfect pick here, especially because all the reports and everything we're saying was in the last round, we were picking between Cam and Marcus Mbao with the expectation that we would only get one. And the fact that we got him a round later is insane. 3 offensive linemen went in between those 2 picks, and luckily none of them were Mbao. Now, the thing that could have scared teams off is there is some injury concern with him, but Joe Shane said the medicals came out fine for him. So, listen, when you're going in the 5th round, you got to take a little risk, right? You're not getting the best players in the world in the 5th round. So, a little injury risk, a little personality risk, maybe a little jail time. I don't care if you're in the 5th round. If you could play, you could play, right? So, and my favorite thing about Marcus Mbao joining a pretty spotty O-line is he's super flexible. He played guard, he played tackle. He could even play center. He could line up literally wherever we need. And on a bad O-line, that's perfect. I hope we just, wherever Evan Neal was supposed to line up, we just line him up there and throw Evan Neal's bitch ass on the waiver, on the waiver wire, essentially. Just cut his ass, That would be a lot of fun, man. I fucking hate Evan Neal, bro. Oh my God. I'm actually pissed that Nick Saban is such a good head coach that he convinced the NFL teams that Evan Neal will be a good offensive lineman in the NFL. But anyways, listen, wherever we need him, he's going to line up. He's a big body. He's very good. A lot of people were saying that this was a day 2 pick, 2nd round, 3rd round pick. And he fell because of injury concerns. That's the main thing. He's a little undersized, I'd say, for an OT, like a franchise tackle. You want him a little bit bigger, a little more hands, a little more arms. You guys seen that meme of Will Campbell. We're not going to get into that. But I think if he lines up at center or guard, this is a slam dunk pick, to be honest. I don't know how well he'll sit out there at tackle. So that's something that we definitely need for next year's draft. There's a lot of really, really good tackles, like Caden Proctor out of Alabama and the tackle in Miami. I completely blank on the name. But that's definitely something we can look forward to next year's draft, because the O-line is definitely still the weakest part of the team at this point. The O-line and the receivers room, if we're being honest, outside of Neighbors. The rest of those cats can't play. But listen, Marcus Mbao, great player in the 5th round. You're always going to find someone a little risky, and I love it. He's super athletic, just like Darius Alexander, which is important. And if he stays healthy, this will be hopefully, best case scenario, a pretty good starter for 8-9 years. And that's all you can hope for out of O-line this late. You know what I'm saying? So, solid pick. Not great, not bad, solid. So overall, if you ask myself as a biased ass Giants fan, I'm going to say home run 10 out of 10. Book the Super Bowl tickets now. We're sweeping the Eagles. We're sweeping the Cowboys. We're sweeping the motherfucking Commanders. Oh my God, I always blink on that shit. But for real, if we're being honest, this was a really good draft on a team that needed a lot of talent. Listen, if you could leave the draft with arguably the best player at a premium position, your franchise quarterback that you had to give up only 2/3 for, essentially, that's basically nothing. A solid D tackle that could be a starter from day one. An electric, fun running back in Cam Scatterbo, who's 100% like gonna contribute. Like him and Tyrone Tracy are gonna be just, 50-50 essentially. And a hopefully starting caliber offensive lineman, whether that be a tackle, guard, center, wherever it could be. That's a pretty good draft. If we're being honest, that's a pretty good draft. I'd give it an A. I'd give it an A if we're doing the letter grades. A, not A plus, just because, listen, we didn't leave with a receiver. That's like the main thing. We didn't leave with a receiver. Like outside of neighbors, you better line me up out there. I have arthritis. I'm 27 years old and I'm 5'7", and I'm probably still better than everyone on that team at receiver besides neighbors. So that part of it is still a huge need. Hopefully we can address in next year's draft. But besides that, we did hit a lot of what we needed. We needed at least something at quarterback. We needed at least something on the O-line. And we needed definitely a D tackle. That was like the 100%, like 100%. We needed another D tackle alongside Sexy Dexy. So we hit some of our needs. We still got stupid talented players. Listen, the Giants' schedule is really hard this year. Really, really hard. Like we play all of the AFC West. Obviously, we play all of the NFC East. Like it's a tough ass schedule. We're probably gonna be. Hopefully, we're not picking high next year, but we probably will be. But this is definitely a really good starting point. This is definitely a really good building block after last year's superstar draft too. Last year's draft was fucking stacked too for the Giants, and this is how you build a championship contender. This is how you become the Eagles. Just kill the draft every year, and then at some point you're gonna be holding a Lombardi. And shit, I hope I see that in my lifetime. Now, last thing before I head out, can y'all please do your boy a favor? If y'all like this video at all, man, throw me a like, throw me a little comment. Maybe comment what team you want me to do next, or if y'all want to talk about anything else. Throw a little sub. Maybe send this video to your boy who's a Giants hater or Giants lover. Like, just be like, yo, look at this dumbass. Look what he's saying, I would really appreciate it. Listen, y'all know the job market is terrible. Your boy got to eat. He's starving. Maybe Google will cut me a little bit of check off this. Let's see. But either way, if y'all like this shit, I have fun making it. I'm going to keep doing it. So take care, man. Love y'all. Take care. Also, fuck the Eagles.